जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय श्री रूपानुगौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जय श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय नाम चाय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री सफला अकादशी तिथि की जय तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेत्य कृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मया मया तया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूत हृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम् नष्टप्रयेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणन्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्न वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Haribol, Raseshwari Mataji, Gargraj ji, Indira Mataji, Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Sorry for starting so late today, guys. I don't have a good excuse. Anyhow, okay, so let's I'll read here from Bhagavat Pravaha, what we read day before yesterday, or no, 3 days ago, I think, right? Defeated 17 times. Asti and Prapti, the two queens of Kamsa, went to Magadha, to the home of their father, Jarasandha. They informed him of their husband's death. Seeing his daughters as widows, Jarasandha vowed to rid the earth of all of the Yadavas. Gathering an immense army, Jarasandha attacked Mathura. Krishna had descended to destroy the burden of the earth. By his will, there appeared two effulgent chariots and the Lord's personal weapons. Krishna and Balaram then took up the weapons, mounted the chariots, and went forth to attack Jarasandha's army. Krishna twanged his bow and rained down a torrent of arrows upon miscreants who supported Jarasandha, and soon annihilated all of them. Balaram arrested Jarasandha, but Krishna knew that Jarasandha would assemble another army and return again to fight, and that would facilitate Krishna's goal of removing the earth's burden. Unknowingly thus, Jarasandha would collaborate with Krishna's plan. Jarasandha collaborated with Krishna's plan. Consequently, Krishna had Balaram release Jarasandha. As expected, Jarasandha attacked Mathura 17 times, and each time Krishna destroyed his entire army. A fort city within the sea. When Jarasandha prepared to attack Mathura for the 18th time, the king of Yavanas, named Kalyavan, also tried to attack Mathura with 30 million soldiers. Kalyavan had been searching for a worthy opponent, and Narad Muni told him to fight the Yadavas. Krishna was concerned about the simultaneous attack of the two huge armies on the Yadavas. Krishna then constructed a wonderful city called Dwarka within the sea, and he moved all the Yadavas there by his mystic power. When they were sleeping, right? Then Krishna went out of Mathura unarmed. Seeing Krishna without weapons, Kalyavan put his own weapons aside and ran toward Krishna to fight with him. Krishna ran away from Kalyavan, yet stayed within his vision, barely beyond his grasp at every step. Kalyavan hurled insults at Krishna, calling him a coward for running away. Okay, we didn't read this yet. Yeah, this is what we're going to read today. Haribol, Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantaramurti Mataji. Okay, so oops, I'm supposed to be here. Okay. Chapter 51, The Deliverance of Mucukunda. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tam Vilokya Viniskrantam Ujihanam Ivodupam Darshaniyatamam Shyamam Pitakoshe Avasasam Shri Vatsa Vakshanam Bhrajat Kostubha Muktakandaram Prittu Dirga Chaturbahum Navakanjaruneksharam Nitya Pramuditam Śrīmad Sukapolam Shuchismitam Mukharavindam Bibhranam Spuran Makarakundalam Vasudeva Hyayam Iti Poman Srivatsalanchana Chaturbhujo Ravindaksho Vanamalyati Sundara Lakshanar Narada Proktar Nanya Bhavitumarhati Nirayudhaschalan Padbhyam Yotsye Nena Nirayudha Iti Nishchitta Yavana Pravad Tang Parang Mukham Anvadhavaj jigrikshustam durapam apiyoginam. Shukadev Goswami said, Kalyavan saw the Lord come out from Mathura like the rising moon. The Lord was most beautiful to behold, with his dark blue complexion and yellow silk garment. Upon his chest he bore the mark of Srivatsa, and the Kostuba gem adorned his neck. His forearms were sturdy and strong. He displayed his ever joyful lotus like face, with eyes pink like lotuses, beautifully effulgent cheeks, a pristine smile, and glittering shark shaped earrings. The barbarian thought, this person must indeed be Vasudev, since he possesses the characteristics Narad mentioned. He is marked with Shivatsa, he has four arms, his eyes are like lotuses, he wears a garland of forest flowers, and he is extremely handsome. He cannot be anyone else. Since he goes on foot and unarmed, I will fight him without weapons. Resolving thus, he ran after the Lord, who turned his back and ran away. Kalyavan hoped to catch Lord Krishna, though great mystic yogis cannot attain him. Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In this chapter, Mucukunda burns up Kalyavan with his glance and satisfies Krishna with his prayers. Krishna, in turn, grants a benediction to Mucukunda. Those who are qualified by devotion can appreciate the beauty of Krishna. The demons, however, because of their inimical attitude, cannot taste that beauty even if the Lord appears before their eyes. To show that fact, this verse describes the beauty of Krishna as he stood before Kalyavan. Hastapraptam ivatmanam harina sapade pade nitodarshayata duram yavanesho drikandaram. Appearing virtually within reach of Kalyavan's hand appearing within reach of Kalyavan's hand at every moment, Lord Hari led the king of the Yavans far away to a mountain cave. Commentary. By letting himself almost get caught and then running away time and time again, Krishna led Kalyavan far off to a cave in the mountain. Palayanam yadule jatasya tavanochitam itikshipan anugato nainam prapa hata shubha. While chasing the Lord, the Yavan cast insults at him, saying, You took birth in the Yadu dynasty. It's not proper for you to run away. But still, Kalyavan could not reach Lord Krishna because his sinful reactions had not been cleansed away. Evam kshiptopi bhagavan pravishad girikandaram sopi pravishtas tatranyam shayanam dadrishe naram. Although insulted in this way, the Supreme Lord entered the mountain cave. Kalyavan also entered, and there he saw another man lying asleep. Commentary. Kalyavan saw another person. Nandvaso duramaniya shete mam iha sadhuvat iti matva chutam murdhas tampada samatadayat. Samatadayat, yeah. So, after leading me such a long distance, now he is lying here like some saint? Thus thinking the sleeping man to be Lord Krishna, the deluded fool kicked him with all his strength. Uh-oh. Sa utaya chiram supta, shanar unmilya lochane, desho vilokayan parshve, tam adrakshid avastitam. The man awoke after a long sleep and slowly opened his eyes. Looking all about, he saw Kalyavan standing beside him. Satavat tasya rushtasya drishtipatena bharata deha jena gnina dagdo bhasmasad abhavat kshanat. The awakened man was angry and cast his glance at Kalyavan, whose body burst into flames. In a single moment, O King Parikshit, Kalyavan was burnt to ashes. Commentary. By the angry glance from Mucukunda, Kalyavan's body caught on fire, and then that fire generated from Kalyavan's own body, Deha Jena Agnina, and it burnt him to ashes. This was because of the boon prayed for. This was because of the boon prayed for and received by Mucukunda, which is mentioned in the Harivangsha as follows: Prasuptam bodhayed yomam tam daheyam aham sura chakshusha krodadiptena evam aha puna puna. Mucukunda repeatedly said, "O demigods, may that person who wakes me from sleep be burned up by my eyes, fiery with anger." Mucukunda prayed for the boon of sleep because of the prediction of the ancient sage Garga, who said, "You will remain asleep without waking until Krishna appears." Mucukunda thought, "It is impossible for me, longing for the sight of Krishna, to remain awake for the many cycles of 4 yugas. Better that I sleep, and then time will pass in a few moments." Mucukunda made this rather morbid request to scare Lord Indra. Otherwise, Indra would keep waking him up to request his help in fighting the various cosmic enemies. Indra's consent to Muchukunda's request is described in Sri Vishnu Puran as follows: Proktascha devaisam shuktam yastvam uttapayishyati deha jainagnina sadhya satu bhasmi karishyati. The demigods declared, "Whoever awakens you from sleep will suddenly be burnt to ashes by a fire generated from his body." It's the one way to get Indra off your shoulders. Shirajuvacha konam sapuman brahman kasya kim virya evacha kasmar guham kata shishye kim tejo yavanardhana. King Parikshit said, "Who was that person, O Brahman? To which family did he belong? And what were his powers? Why did that destroyer of the barbarian lie down to sleep in the cave? And whose son was he?" Commentary. Parikshit Maharaj asked, "Whose family did that destroyer of the Yavan belong to? Where did he get his power from? Whose son was he?" Shri Shuka Uvacha Sa Ikshvaku Kule Jato Mandhatri Tanayo Mahan Muchukunda iti kyato Brahmanya Satyasangara. Shukadev Goswami said, Muchukunda was the name of this great personality who was born in the Ikshvaku dynasty as the son of Mandhata. He was devoted to Brahminical culture and always true to his word in battle. Sayachita suraganar indradyar atmarakshane asurebhya paritrastais tadraksham sokarochchiram. Begged by Indra and the other demigods to help protect them when they were terrorized by the demons, Muchukunda defended them for a long time. Labdva guham stesva palam Muchukundam artha bruvan Rajan Viramatam Kritrad Bhavana Paripalanat. When the demigods obtained Kartikeya as their general, they told Muchukunda, "O king, you may now give up your troublesome duty of guarding us." Commentary. When the demigods obtained Kartikeya to protect them, they addressed Muchukunda, Naralokam parityajya rajam nihatakantakam asman palayato vira kamaste sarva ujita. Abandoning an unopposed kingdom in the world of men, O valiant one, you neglected all your personal desires while engaged in protecting us. Sutta mahisho bhavato gyatayo matya mantrina prajaschatulakalina nadhuna santikalita. The children, queens, relatives, ministers, advisors, and subjects who were your contemporaries are no longer alive. They have all been swept away by time. Commentary. The demigod said, furthermore, your contemporaries moved on by the force of time. Kalo baliyan balinam Bhagavan Ishvaro Vyaya Praja Kala Yate Kridan Pashupalo Yatha Pashun. Inexhaustible time, stronger than the strong, is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. Like a herdsman moving his animals along, he moves mortal creatures as his pastime. Commentary. Mucukunda asked, who has made them move? This verse answers, time. Varam vrinishva bhadram te rite kaivalyamadhyana eka eveshvarastasya bhagavan vishnuravyaya. All good fortune to you. Now please choose a benediction from us. Anything but liberation, since only the infallible Supreme Lord Vishnu can bestow that. Commentary. Only Vishnu can grant that liberation. Eva mukta savai devan abhivandya mahayasha ashayishta guha vishto nidraya devadattaya. Addressed thus, King Mucukunda took his respectful leave of the demigods and went to a cave where he lay down to enjoy the sleep they had granted him. Yavane bhasmasannite Bhagavan Sattvatarshambha Atmanam darshayam asa Muchukundaya dhimate. After the Yavan was burnt to ashes, the Supreme Lord, chief of the Sattvatas, revealed himself to the wise Muchukunda. Tam alokya ghana shamam pitakoshe avasasam Srivatsa vakshasam bhrajat kostubhena virajitam Chaturbhujam ruchamanam vajayantya chamalaya Charu prasannavadanam spuran makarakundalam Prekshaniyam nrilokasya sanuraga smitekshanam apivya vayasam matta mrigendro daravikramam Parya prichan mahabudhis tejasa tasya dharshita shankita shanakai raja durdharsham iva tejasa. As he gazed at the Lord, King Muchukunda saw that he was dark blue like a cloud, had 4 arms, and wore a yellow silk garment. On his chest he bore the Srivatsa mark, and on his neck the brilliantly glowing Kaustuba gem. Adorned with a Vaijayanti garland, the Lord displayed his handsome, peaceful face, which attracts the eyes of all mankind with its shark-shaped earrings and affectionately smiling glance. The beauty of his youthful form was unexcelled, and he moved with the nobility of an angry lion. The highly intelligent king was overwhelmed by the Lord's effulgence, which showed him to be invincible. Expressing his uncertainty, Muchukunda hesitantly questions Lord Krishna as follows. Commentary. The word Shankita, having some doubt, indicates that Muchukunda was thinking, is this indeed the Supreme Lord? The Lord was unconquerable, Durdharsham. Eva in this case is only a verbal ornament. Śrīmucukunda uvacha ko bhavan iha samprapto vipine girigahvare padbhyam parma palashabhyam vicharasyurukantake. Sri Mucukunda said, "Who are you who have come to this mountain cave in the forest, having walked on the thorny ground with feet as soft as lotus petals?" Commentary. Mucukunda said, "You are walking on the thorny ground with your tender lotus petal feet." King Swit Tejasvinam Tejo Bhagavan Va Vibhavasu Surya Somo Mahendro Va Lokapalo Paro Piva. Perhaps you are the potency of all potent beings, or maybe you are the powerful god of fire, or the sun god, the moon god, the king of heaven, or the ruling demigod of some other planet. Manye tvam deva devanam trayanam purusharshabham yad bhadhase guhadvantam pradipa prabhayayata. I think I think you are the supreme personality among the three chief gods, since you drive away the darkness of this cave as a lamp dispels darkness with its light. Commentary. Mucukunda said, "With your effulgence, you dispel the darkness of this mountain cave. With your jewel-like knowledge, and with your jewel-like knowledge, you destroy the darkness of ignorance in my heart." In Sanskrit, the heart is sometimes metaphorically referred to as a guha, a cavern, a deep and secret place. Shushrushatam avyalikam asmakam narapungava svajanma karma gotram va katyatam yadirochate. O best among men, if you like, please truly describe your birth, activities, and lineage to us who are eager to hear. Commentary. Mucukunda said, "Please tell us who wants to hear." The plural usage of the word shushrushatam, to us who are sincerely eager to hear, indicates Muchukunda's noble position and his qualification to hear from Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna would not speak if he thought that Muchukunda was a low-class, unqualified person. Vayam tu purusha vyagra aikshvaka kshatra bandhava Muchukunda iti prokto yovanashvatmaja prabho. As for ourselves, O tiger among men, we belong to a family of fallen Kshatriyas, descendants of King Ikshvaku. My name is Muchukunda, my lord, and I am the son of Yovanashva. Commentary. Though Muchukunda had indicated his own position, he noted Krishna's silence. Therefore, he decided to introduce himself, noting his own good qualifications. By saying he was a low-class Kshatriya, Muchukunda intended to show his humility and thus his good quality. Chira prajagara shanto nidraya pahatendriya shayesmin vijane kamam kenapyuthapito dhuna. I was fatigued after remaining awake for a long time, and my senses were overwhelmed by sleep. Thus I slept comfortably here in this solitary place until just now someone woke me. Sopi bhasmi krito nunam atmiyaiva papamana anantaram bhavam shrimo lakshita mitra shasana. The man who woke me was burned to ashes by the reaction of his sins. Just then I saw you, possessing a glorious appearance and the power to chastise your enemies. Commentary. Muchukunda said, I consider you the chastiser of enemies. Through me, you destroyed that foolish barbarian. tejasate vishahyena buridhrastum na shaknuma hato jasa mahabhaga mananiyo siddhehinam. Your unbearably brilliant effulgence overwhelms our strength, and thus we cannot fix our gaze upon you. O exalted one, you are to be honored by all embodied beings. Evam sambhashito ragya bhagavan bhuta bhavana pratyaha prahasan vanya meghanada gabhiraya. Shukadev Goswami continued. Thus addressed by the king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, origin of all creation, smiled, and then replied to him in a voice as deep as the rumbling of clouds. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Janma Karma Bhidhanani Santi Menga Sahasrasha Nashakyante Nushankyatum Anantatvan Mayapihi. The Supreme Lord said, My dear friend, I have taken thousands of births, lived thousands of lives, and accepted thousands of names. In fact, my births, activities, and names are limitless, and thus even I cannot count them. Commentary. Though Mucukunda is completely devoid of pride, he showed his position in order to hear my words. Therefore, although I am also prideless, I will now pronounce my own superiority in accordance with my words. As they surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Thinking thus, Krishna spoke this verse. Kvachangsi vimame parthivanyuru janmabhi guna karma bidhanani name janmani karhichit. After many lifetimes, someone might count the dust particles on the earth, but no one can ever finish counting my qualities, activities, names, and births. Commentary. Someone may count all the particles of dust on the earth. Kalatrayo papani janma karma ninme nripa anukramanto naivantum tam gachanti paramarshaya. O king, the greatest sages enumerate my births and activities, which take place throughout the three phases of time, but never do they reach the end of them. Tatapyadyatananyanga. Oh God, it is. Shenushvagadato mama vigyapito virinchena puraham dharmaguptaye. Bhumer bharayamananam asuranam kshayaya cha avatirna yadukule griha anakadundubhe vadanti vasudeveti vasudeva sutam himam. Nonetheless, O friend, I will tell you about my current birth, name, and activities. Kindly hear. Some time ago, Lord Brahma requested me to protect religious principles and destroy the demons who were burdening the earth. Thus, I descended in the Yadu dynasty in the home of Anaka Dundubhi. Indeed, because I am the son of Vasudev, people call me Vasudev. Kalanemir hataksh kangsa pralambhadhyashchad sadvisha ayang cha yavano dagdho rajangste tigmachakshusha. I have killed Kalanemi, reborn as Kangsa, as well as Pralamba and other enemies of the pious. And now, O king, this barbarian has been burnt to ashes by your piercing glance. Soham anugrahartam goham etanupagata prarthita prachuran purvam Tvayaham Bhaktavatsala. Since in the past you repeatedly prayed to me, I have personally come to this cave to show you mercy, for I am affectionately inclined to my devotees. Varan Vrinishvarajarshe Sarvan Kaman Dadamite Mam Prasanno Jana Kaschin Na Bhuyor Hati Shochitum. Now choose some benedictions for me, O saintly king. I will fulfill all your desires. One who has satisfied me need never again lament. Commentary. We lament when we feel incomplete, when we have lost something, or when we failed to achieve something desirable. In this verse, Krishna reassures the person who has satisfied me does not have to lament. The benedictions given by others are perishable, and therefore the benefactor laments when the boon disappears. But for one who surrenders to me, I give benedictions which are imperishable, and therefore he need not lament. Shri Shuka Uvacha Ityuktastam pranamyaha Muchukundo mudanvitaha Gyatva narayanam devam Gargavakyam anusmaran. Shukadev Goswami said, Muchukunda bowed down to the Lord when he heard this. Remembering the words of the sage Garga, he joyfully recognized Krishna to be the Supreme Lord, Narayan. The king then addressed him as follows. Commentary. Remembering the words of the ancient sage Garga, in the 28th millennium, Krishna will appear and become visible to you. Muchukunda recognized Krishna, bowed to him, and spoke. Shri Muchukunda Uvacha Vimohito yam jana isha mayaya tvad vo vimohito yam jana whatever isha mayaya tvad. Oh God, sorry guys. Vimohito yam jana isha mayaya twadiyaya tamna. Oh, that's why I can't do it. I'm doing the wrong meter. Vimohito yam jana isha mayaya twadiyaya tam na bhajatyanartadrik sukhaya dukha prabhaveshu sajjate griheshu yoshit purushascha vanchita. Sorry about that. Shri Muchukunda said, the people of this world, both men and women, are bewildered by your illusory energy. Unaware of their real benefit, they do not worship you, but instead seek happiness by entangling themselves in family affairs, which are actually sources of misery. Commentary. That a person rejects your devotional service and accepts the objects of lust is the power of your Maya. Muchukunda expresses this idea here. Muchukunda said, both men and women, bewildered by your Maya, become cheated and engage in family life. Labdva jana durlabamatramanusham katanchira vyangam ayatnato nagha padaravindam na bhajatya sanmatir grihandakupe patito yata pushu. That person has an impure mind who, despite having somehow or other automatically obtains the rare and highly evolved human form of life, does not worship your lotus feet. Like an animal that has fallen into a blind well, such a person has fallen into the darkness of a material home. Commentary. Just see how an unintelligent fool sells a touchstone for a few pennies. That is the essence of this verse. Furthermore, material sense gratification is obtainable even among the hogs and beasts. Worship of the Supreme Lord, however, can only be attained in a human birth. Thus, If after obtaining the human form of life, one fails to worship you, he is most foolish. Here in this field of fruit of work, man has a highly evolved form of body. But if his mentality is absorbed in temporary sense pleasures, and he is fallen into a blind well of household life, he is no better than an animal that falls into a blind well due to his greed for grass. Mamaishakalo jitanishpalo gato rajashriyon nadha madhasya bhupate martyatma buddhe sutadarako bhushvas asajamanasya duranta chintaya. I have wasted all this time, O unconquerable one, becoming more and more intoxicated by my domain and opulence as an earthly king, misidentifying the mortal body as the self, becoming attached to children, wives, treasury, and land. I suffered endless anxiety. Commentary. Mucukunda said, that person whom I am condemning is actually myself. I think of the mortal body as the self. Martyatma buddhe. Kalevaresmin ghatakudya sannibhe niruddhamano naradevit ityaham vrito rate bhashva padatani kapargam paryatang stvaganayan suduramadha. Sorry. Paryatang stvaga nayan sudurmadha. With deep arrogance, I took myself to be the body, which is a material object like a pot or a wall. Thinking myself a god among men, I traveled the earth, surrounded by my charioteers, elephants, cavalry, foot soldiers, and generals, disregarding you and my deluding pride. Commentary. Mucukunda said, due to identifying Ivakum Ivakumantaka. Uh-oh. Has my internet been out this whole time? Sorry, I don't know what's up with the connection. Oh well. Looks like there's 8 people still watching. Okay. Parmatamochar etikritta chintaya pravriddalobham vishayeshu lalasam tvamapramatta sahasa bipadyase kshule lihano hir iva kumantaka. A man obsessed with thoughts of what he thinks needs to be done, intensely greedy and delighting in sense enjoyment, is suddenly confronted by you who are ever alert. Like a hungry snake licking its fangs before a mouse, you appear before him as death. Commentary. In the form of time, you devour those who do not worship you. That is the meaning of this verse. Mucukunda said, because of attachment to sense gratification, one becomes thoroughly deluded and inattentive, thus ignores you. Thinking that he must do certain actions in the world, one develops ever-increasing greed. Even though his desires are frustrated, he is still eager for those objects. You remain fully attentive as time, however, and confronts that person as death to take away everything. As time, you act just like a snake, licking its fangs out of hunger before overcoming a mouse. Puraratarhema parikritaishcharan matanga jarva naradeva samgita sa eva kalena duratyayena te kalevaro vit krimi bhasma sangita. The body that the body that at first rides high on fierce elephants or chariots adorned with gold and is known by the name king is later, by your invincible power of time, called feces, worms, or ashes. Commentary. This verse describes how time seizes the body. Although one may be a famous king wandering about on a chariot or an elephant, he is eventually devoured by unavoidable death, and then takes the disgusting form of stool, worms, or ashes. Nirjitadik chakram abhuta vigraho varasanasta samaraja vandita griheshu maitunya sukheshu yoshitam krida mriga purusha ishaniyate. Having conquered the entire circle of directions and being thus free of conflict, a man sits on a splendid throne, receiving praise from leaders who were once his equals. But when he enters the women's chambers, where sex pleasure is found, he is led about like a pet animal, O Lord. Commentary. The previous verse stated that a person who achieves kingly status among his peers ends up as stool and worms by the force of time at the end of his life. This verse describes that even while living, a king becomes a mere plaything in the hands of women. Having conquered his enemies, the king is worshipped by those who are once his equals. But in the private chambers of the queen, he is made to move about like a pet animal for sexual pleasure. Lots of brahmachari katha by Mucukunda. Huh? Karoti karmani tapasunishthito nivritta bhogas tarapekshaya dadat punascha bhuyasam ahangswaraditi pravridatarsho nasukaya kalpate. Sorry. A king who desires even greater power than he already has strictly performs his duties, carefully practicing austerity and foregoing sense enjoyment. But he whose urges are so rampant, thinking, I am independent and supreme, cannot attain happiness. Commentary. The man who does not worship the Lord is condemned for his enjoyment of worldly pleasures. But the same man is also condemned even when he does not have sense gratification, as stated in this verse. Such a man is fixed in austerities such as sleeping on the ground and observing celibacy, with the urge to become an even more powerful king, or even Indra himself. Bhavapavargo brahmato yada bhavej janasya tarya chutasat samagama satsangamo yarhi tadaiva sargato paravareshe tvaijayate mati. When the life of a wandering soul has ceased, O Achyuta, he may attain the association of your devotees. And when he associates with them, there awakens in him devotion unto you, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all causes and their effects. Commentary. It may be questioned, when will bhakti, which destroys all suffering and bestows all bliss, appear? This question is answered in this verse. Mucukunda said, O Achyuta, when a wandering spirit soul's bondage in material existence is destroyed, he gets the association of merciful sadhus. The word tadaiva means then and only then. In this verse, when, yarhi, and then, tada, are spoken in regard to a broad conception of time. In a more accurate description of time, it would be more proper to say that saintly association comes first and cessation of material existence comes afterwards, since they are respectively the cause and the effect. However, because the effect happens so quickly, the effect is mentioned before the cause to emphasize the quickness. This is an example of the fourth type of extreme statement known as atishayokti, a statement in which the logical order of a cause and its effect is reversed should be understood as atishayokti, emphasis by extreme assertion. The Vaishnav Toshini explains the word sargato, goal of the saintly. This is Jiva Goswami. In him whose shelter are the devotees. This is shown in such phrases as Svecha Mayasya. I am subordinate to my devotees. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.14.2. Actually, everything Krishna does is initiated by a desire of his devotees. Therefore, his mercy is also dependent on the saintly devotees. In the phrase Sargato, it is implied that Krishna is not the gati, Krishna is not the goal of those who are asat, temporary materialists. This means that Krishna's mercy can be received only when a succession of predecessor saints has been established. It did not arise all by itself sometime in the past. This point is confirmed in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.2.31. Swayam samutirya sadushtaram duman pavarnavam bhimam adabhraso hrida pavat padam boruha navamatrate nidhayayata saranugraho bhavan. O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desire tree, a vancha kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nescience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. I'm going to go on for 4 more minutes since I started late. So I'll stop at 8:35. Manye mamanugraha ishate grito rajanubandha pagamo yashaya ya pratyate sadhubir ekacharyaya vanam vivikshadbhir akhanda bhumi pai. Haribol, Janardhan Prabhu. Okay, that's great. I didn't go offline. That's wonderful. My Lord, my Lord, I think you have shown me mercy, since my attachment to my kingdom has spontaneously ceased. Such freedom is prayed for by saintly rulers of vast empires who desire to enter the forest for a life of solitude. Commentary. Mucukunda said that I unexpectedly gave up attachment to my kingdom and other things after association with your devotees is certainly your mercy. This is expressed in this verse. Vritrasura said, Traivargikayasa vigatam asmat patir vidhate purushasya shakra tato numeyo bhagavat prasado yadur labo kinchana gocharo nyay. O Indra, my master the Lord destroys all attempts at dharma, artha, and kama, religion, economic development, and sense gratification, for his devotees. He destroys all the dharma, artha, kama of the devotees. By that, one can infer his mercy. Such mercy is only available to the selfless devotees of the Lord. It cannot be attained by those attached to material energy. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6.11.23. Mucukunda prayed. Saintly kings pray for the severing of attachment to family and kingdom. When it happens, they travel alone for the sake of achieving devotional service in the form of uninterrupted meditation upon you. Nakamayenyam tavapada sevanar akinchana prartyai tamar varam vibho. Aradhakastvam Yapavargadam Hare Vrinita Aryo Varamatma Bandhanam. O all-powerful one, I desire no boon other than the service to your lotus feet, the boon most eagerly sought by those free of material desire. O Hari, what enlightened person who worships you, the giver of liberation, would choose a boon that causes his own bondage? Commentary. Here, Mucukunda replies to Krishna's offer to accept a benediction. Those who want nothing material pray for bhakti, but more worthy of prayer is prem, and the most worthy of prayer is the service of your lotus feet. Thus, I do not want liberation. What to speak of any other boon? The phrase apavargadam means the bestower of bhakti yoga, since devotion is referred to by the term apavarga in the 5th canto. Mucukunda said, "What discriminating person would choose some ordinary material benediction leading to his own bondage, even if you are willing to grant it? I, however, am not interested even in liberation, so why would I choose such a thing?" A second meaning. Even one who worships you to get liberation, if he is intelligent, would he accept your boons which create bondage to the world again? What to speak then of your devotee? Okay, so I'm going to end here because it's 8:30. It just turned 8:35. What verse is that? We're ending on verse 56. Let me just read the translation though. Therefore, O Lord, having put aside all, no, actually, I'm going to just read this one last one. Tasmad vrisrija shisha isha sarvato rajastama sattva gunanubandhana nirajanam nirgunam advayam param tam gyapti matram purusham vrajamyaham. Therefore, O Lord, having put aside all objects of material desire, which are bound to the modes of passion, ignorance, and goodness, I am approaching you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for shelter. You are not covered by mundane designations. Rather, you are the Supreme Absolute Truth, full and pure knowledge, and transcendental to the material modes. Okay, I'm ending with this commentary for real. Anyways, commentary. Mucukunda makes it clear in this verse that he himself has no desire for anything material. Mucukunda said, I do not want any of the fruits connected with the modes of passion, ignorance, and goodness. I reject even liberation, which is mixed up with the mode of goodness, because it is based on knowledge. I pray only for the service of your lotus feet, which is transcendental to all the modes. It is said in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita that devotional service is beyond the 3 modes. Therefore, I am approaching you, the Supreme Person. Krishna replied, but some say that my form as a person is Brahman, covered by Maya. Mucukunda said, no, you are without any material coverings and completely transcendental to the material modes. Krishna, yes, I may be without gunas, but some people say that my present body is made of the gunas. Mucukunda, you and your body are not different. Rather, your body is you. Krishna, then what is the real identity of my body? Mucukunda, it is made of pure knowledge. Chit Sarupa. Another meaning. Because the world is made of your energy, it is non-different from you. And in that sense, you are Advayam. By your internal energy, you exist in a transcendental body of pure knowledge. All right, now we're ending. Tomorrow we will finish up this chapter from verse 57 onwards. We'll finish the prayers of Mucukunda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Oh, there was only one more verse, and then we would have been finished with Mucukunda's prayers. Anyways, but yeah, tomorrow we will finish this up, and then we will begin reading chapter 52, Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupa Anugauriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Nathan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath, Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Bradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kun Shama Kuni Munaganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Safala Akarashi Titi ki Jai, Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Shri Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki Jai, Sārārtha-darśinī Vritti ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshava Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you for letting me go so much overtime. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Hari Bol Janardhan Prabhu. Dandavat pranam. Oh, just one thing. I wrote a post last night on Vine of Devotion. So if you go to vineofdevotion.com, you can see it there. Maya's greatest trick. And I write something at the end of the article about Akadashi. So yeah, you can check it out if you like. Hari Bol.